guys been looking for you all day.
I know these motherfuckers, man.
Yo, Ace, right?
Yeah, man.
What's going on, baby? Yo, how you got that butter? Yo, you holding?
You know me, man? Somebody, I don't think you know me, man. You know what I'm saying? I think somebody been misleading you, you know what I mean?
Ah, come on, man. Look at you. Got this European joint all done up, all rimmed out.
Hey, yo,
and everything.
me and my man right now, we're chilling right here. We're trying to build right here inside of here. I don't know nothing about what you talking about, understand?
Yo, we'll meet up again, right? Different time, different circumstances?
Yeah, maybe it'll be love next time, you know what I'm saying?
All right. Maybe.
Corny motherfuckers, man. Got the silent routine, his boy with him and shit. Something was up with those cats. They was either stick-up kids or the feds. Either way, I wasn't fucking with them.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Racha HaKwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you other elders, you brethren, you fellow believers of this truth. Shalom to you few sisters. Shalom to the elect. So, this video isn't entirely directed towards any individual. I mean, even to myself, you know. We hear the apostles and the elders. I actually talked to an elder maybe 2 months ago, a little bit on this topic. And I remember Apostle Rakar came down and he confirmed it with me here in Baltimore. Just to give a few examples, there was a group of guys, I don't know what kind of garments they had on. It looked like something out of the Flintstones. I don't know, but it did have a border of blue, long as it worked, right? And the first thing they walked up to me and said is, "Where the hood at? We want to go where the black people are." And I immediately, I was in and out of jail a lot through my life. So I know the streets. I know the hustle. I'm a little aged now, so I could see it. And I knew these guys was characters, man. I knew they were agents. It wasn't a doubt in my mind that they wasn't agents. You look at the hands, they're clean cut. Not that some of the brothers ain't. The way their mannerisms are, the way they talk, you can see it and you can almost feel it, agent. So fast forward, this happened quite a few times, by the way. Fast forward, there's a guy that comes to our camp. He comes down and he says, well, I want to join up. So right there, I knew something was wrong, right? So I say, hey, and I smiled at him. I was courteous to him, you know what I'm saying? I said, well, bro, you're going to have to stand on the outside. You're going to learn, take notes. And so long story short, he came down like 2 or 3 weeks and he shook my hand and I said, "Are you police?" I literally asked him that. And he looked at me and said, "How'd you know?" I used to be, but they fired me because I was black. So then I knew again. So I said, okay. So the next week, Apostle Rakar came down and I told Apostle Rakar, I said, "Look, man, this guy's look kind of funny, And Apostle Rakar, he looked at me and said, "I already knew it when I saw him." So of course, Apostle Rakar is very spiritual. So I know, obviously he's an apostle and the spirit is with him. And I knew it confirmed it. So we approached him and we talked to him. We never see him again. So that being said, there's other Jakes who may not be agents, haven't proved themselves. You don't know. I don't know. But they may come down to the camp. They may even speak and, stand on the side and look, take notes and whatever else, but you don't know them. That's the key. So what happens is some of these guys who may not be agents, what they do is they try too much, right? And then they go to different camps. And I've got plenty of examples of that. The other brother, Elder Pashai, that pushes here in Baltimore on a different day than we push. We talked to him. Well, he called me and said some Jakes came to him that was coming to our camp. And I said, oh, this is why communication is the key. You have to be able to communicate. There's Jakes that will try to come here and then go to DC and then come from DC and to try to come here. And this is why we do a lot of communicating. And so for brothers who don't know, you got Jakes that will follow you here and all the way over in the West Coast be on their comment boards talking and saying things that you're not even, you know what I'm saying? They're not even approved. And then they will start asking for favors and hook me up and look out for me and this and that things. Yeah, that happens. And then you can't even get in touch with them. This is crazy. 1 Corinthians 14:34. Let all things be done decently and in order. I know this is, I try to keep it edifying, but I had to bring these examples, and these testimonies out because where you have to really watch. And if you're a leader, elder, leader, even brother who's made his mark in the camp or is, that's proven himself, you also have to watch out. There's going to be a lot of agents rising up and coming into camps. And I'm sure they're already there. I got my eye on a couple of them. You know what I'm saying? There's brothers who are not, there's followers and helpers who are not in the actual camps, but follow and help and build, doing whatever they can to help build. The Spirit will reveal that. But until then, you can't. Let's go to Jeremiah 2. This says, let all things be done decently and in order. Let's go to Jeremiah 9, right? This is all milk scriptures, but it must be brought out. Must be brought out. Take ye heed, every one of his neighbor, and trust ye not in any brother, for every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders. And what happens is, and I'm not going to say any names, I'm not going to say any camps, but what happens is there's Jake that will follow you, then hook up with other brothers, that's on the outside of the camp, and then they will get intel information from them on the inside to the outside, and then they will relay it to another brother all the way across the country, right? This is the agents working in unison. You know what I'm saying? They working all together. So you might even see a little bit of that in the what's his name, Professor Griff, when he was exposing the Illuminati and all that. But this is more dangerous than that because we're speaking the truth according to the Bible. Now, there may be some brothers who are really sincere, but this is what happens when you do too much. If you are not in the camp and you're following the brother or you're following the camp, let me say that, obviously you're following the apostles, you're getting lessons, you are there to learn. You're not there to teach. You are there to learn. So when you go on these other comment boards, it shouldn't be much really said. Thawada, good lesson, may leave a couple scriptures, and that's it. But then when you start being from one camp that you're following all the way across the country, following another camp, but then getting close to certain brothers you can talk to, and you can't even talk to certain brothers in the camp that you're following, that's a damn problem. Right? And then they'll take information and relay it to a brother way across the other country, part of the country. That's a problem. Now, this must be done. I mean, you'll have a lot of people say, that's why I don't trust camps. Well, we had this in the ancient time. Yahushua knew Judas was going to go against him. I mean, you can go into the older texts of the Bible and Achan and various others that claim to be of the Lord and they wasn't. So again, I'm not saying that any of these brothers who are doing this are agents or they're not sincere, but somebody has to step in and say, hey bro, where you from, what you doing, such and such, if you're going to have that conversation. Me personally, I think strictly it should be, okay, I'm following these brothers, and I might even look at other videos. You can't stop brothers from looking at videos. But when you start trying to interact with these social media post information and there's agents that will try to, manipulate social media. Nobody should be on the outside really having your social media information. Nobody should be doing that. We're not going to avoid agents, but damn, you got to slow them down. Or confusion, because not all of them are agents. Some Jake just want to be well known. They want everybody to notice them. Some Jake, they get down on their luck. They need a little help, But come on, man. This is not ISUPK. You know what I'm saying? This is not that. Yeah, trust in the Lord, man. Colossians 3:23. Whatsoever you do, right? Work heartily as for the Lord, okay? And not for men. There's a balance to that, because you are pleased when the brothers say, great video or great edification, the water for the lesson. But remember the spiritual part of it. You're doing this for your salvation. And a good shepherd watches over the sheep and watches over the flock, right? And this goes to myself too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm putting the blame on everyone. I'm just saying this, when these messages come out for even myself. So now, you know what I'm saying? I'll be at camp and I'll be like, hey, your second in command, third in command, whoever else, all the brothers should be in unison, right? Even other camps in your region, they should all be in unison of what's going on. Hey, brother, you heard of this brother here? What's up with him? Such and such, such and such. I'm in contact with DC a lot. Getting back in contact with the other brother from the other camp. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, now we have to, more than ever, be watchful, right? The devil seeketh who he may devour, and he may use men that's sincere to devour you, because they don't have the spirit, not like they should. So they don't know any better unless you say something. Anyway, knowing that that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as a reward. You are serving the Lord Yahushua, right? Right, and there's an order: Yahweh, Yahushua, man, women, children, and even as men, we're not even equal, right? We have higher ups, we have rank, right? We're appreciative of our elders and apostles that taught us. We're appreciative of that. And there's men under us that's appreciative too. But when we go off, I remember a couple years back, I went off on something I said in the video, and bam, that's supposed to be done. Now, newer Jake coming in, they don't know any better. So you got to know when to turn it on, turn it off. But at the same time, you got to be a watchman. That's what Ezekiel 3 says. Anyway, I don't want to make this a long video. Proverbs 25:16. This is for you brothers who are new and on the outside and really want to come in, and you really want to be a part of it, because every brother that comes in the truth is on fire. I mean, when I first came in the truth, I was extra. I was extra loud speaking. I was on fire, burning through my veins, you know what I'm saying? Until it really starts hitting in, And this is why we had a Jake that was in our camp who quit because he said it was too much, right? He said the Lord ain't coming back soon enough. So he quit and got into something else. We kicked a couple of guys out, and then they went to another Jake that was supposedly following GMS, who was also kicked out. And you see what I'm saying? That's crazy confusion. If he didn't work out in this camp, why the hell would you go to another camp that claims they teach in GMS without the other camp inquiring and saying, hey, what happened with those brothers? Why did they get kicked out? You know what I'm saying? And this is where the lack of communication or thereof happens. Okay? You just Jake comes up, who's this guy? Where did he come from? Questions. One thing I learned about Jake, you can do this with women too. You back them in the corner. You just start asking the questions. It flips, it turns. Them detectives know that. That happened to me a lot, sitting in those interrogation rooms, right? And they act like they're your friend. They'll throw the soda down. Might give you a Snickers bar if you want it. You know what I'm saying? Give you some cigarettes. They'll give you the worst shit to eat and smoke, right? Maybe it dumbs you down. And then they'll be all nice to you. How you feeling, man? Everything good? And they'll be all super nice. And in reality, they're catching you. And I've learned tactics from that. I saluted, brother. Yeah, man, how you doing, brother? Yep. Yeah. All right. The whole time, my side eye's looking. Because you got to get them comfortable. That's how they slip. Anyway, that's how we caught a couple of those agents. Anyway, now on him paid in full, he already knew the guy was an agent. He was straight to the point. We ain't with that. You know what I'm saying? But he kept it peaceably at the end. Well, maybe next time there'd be love. And the agent said, all right. Anyway, Proverbs 25:16. It says, hast thou found honey? Eat so much is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomit. Let's go up to the NIV. If you find honey and eat, which is a sweetness, just enough, too much of it, and you will vomit. Right? Too much of it and you will vomit. And I can't even take a lot of honey because I'll get sick. Right? I'm very sensitive to honey. Do you think honey? Do you like honey? Don't eat too much or it'll make you sick. Right? So that's for you Jakes who are all over the place. Just stay grounded. I've seen this happen quite a few times. It happened to me where Jake is he cool with you and this or that, and next thing you know, he's popped up somewhere else. And then I'm trying to get in touch. No answer. No, I'm trying to figure out what the hell going on. I'm not going to go into the details, but it's doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Jake here, Jake there, you know, getting favors somewhere else, and you don't know what the hell's going on. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't even know how to contact brothers in your own region? This is crazy. Anyway, watch out for these guys. You know, not saying that they're all bad, but you know, there has to be something in place, some guidelines in place. You know what I'm saying? Until they can prove themselves. Anyway, that's all I have on that. Shalom.